Welcome to my backyard garden. Today I want to talk to you about intensive growing with your vegetables instead of the way that the seed manufacturers suggest you plant their seeds. So let's look at some lettuce and see how they tell you to plant this. So the planting depth is going to be 1/4 inch, and that's normal. The seed spacing, they say 1 inch. Now, and then the space between rows, 15 inches, stage germination. Spacing after thinning is 6 to 8 inches, and they'll be mature, ready to pick in 40 to 60 days. Now, here's what I do. Plant them in 1/4 inch depth, but I plant the seeds at the distance that I'm going to let them grow at. So for lettuce, what I do right here, the spacing after thinning, I'm going to plant them about 6 inches apart. Now, I plant them closer than that, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But right here, that spacing between rows, that spacing is because these seed manufacturers are selling seeds to, let's say, commercial growers, and they have equipment, so they need to be able to drive their equipment, the tractors and such, between the rows without damaging the plants. And then there goes the mower next door. So we don't do that because we don't, in our backyards, in our urban gardens, we don't have that equipment we need to worry about to grow our crops, because we're going to use hand tools and the such, and our beds aren't going to be that large either. So let's take this lettuce for instance. I planted this 4 inches apart. I've got 3 rows, so in a 8-inch space I have 3 rows planted. Now my bed is 30 inches wide, and it's actually 27-inch wide on the inside width. So if I went with the 15-inch spacing with my rows, I would get 2 rows, maybe 3. So in this case, I use this side of my bed. I could actually get 6 or 7 rows in this bed, planting 4 inches across. Alright, so I want to show you what happens when you grow like this. So this is my lettuce that I've been growing all spring, and it's ready to start harvesting. However, I want to show you my plants. So this is extra plants, but this is my main plant, and then right here about 6 inches farther is another plant, and I only did 3 rows. Here's another plant right here. So in this space, this is my 3 rows, but look how much lettuce I have. I have probably 15 pounds of lettuce right there in a 2 feet by 5 foot space. For my green beans, if I followed the packet's instructions, I'd plant them 2 to 3 inches apart in rows 24 inches apart, and then I thin them to 4 to 6 inches apart. Instead, what I do is I plant them 4 inches apart in rows 4 inches apart. So that's what I have here. It's 4 inches from here to there, and there, and there. And then as we go back, you can see they're planted 4 inches apart. So this triples my production. I plant 1 seed per hole. Some places I'll plant 2 seeds per hole, because then what I'll do is, where they don't come up, I'll transplant some bean plants into those open spaces so that I can fill this entire bed with beans and maximize my production. And it's the same thing for my radishes. I plant my radishes 2 inches apart, and they grow really well. Now, the nice thing, because I only have about 2 feet, and I got 4 rows of radishes here, but I'm going to be able to pick these radishes like that one. That's a great looking radish right there. I'm going to be able to pick these as I go. When they're ready to pick, I don't have to harvest them all at one time. So I can let them get like this, and then pick them, and I can let the smaller ones, see, there's one that hasn't even bulbed up yet. So this one's a little smaller. I can give this another week or 2 to grow, and I can pick these as I go and as I need them, instead of having to pick everything at once like they do in a commercial operation. Okay, hope that video was helpful. If it was, give it a like, share it with your friends, subscribe to my channel if you would. Go ahead and leave your comments and questions below, and ring that bell to get notified of my future videos. I'll be back soon with more stuff. Bye-bye.